Hey everybody, this is Inform the Confused. I'm Alan.
And I'm Bobby.
And today we are doing more RWBY. First we have the World of Remnant video on Huntsman. And then Volume 3, Chapter 4, which I believe is called Lessons Learned.
So I have this theory, right? If I'm right about their, like, one hunter must be chosen to become a guardian, I think that there'll be reference to it in this.
In this episode?
Yeah. I think it'll be hinted to or reference, but there can only be one.
All right, if one person...
Highlanders?
No, not like Highlander, because that's like they get to change the whole world. This is definitely like more like a Sword of Gryffindor moment.
Okay.
The
well,
one
if you
true
think it's going to be
protector
the one true
Like
warrior...
Mortal Kombat?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where everybody can be it. It just...
Got lots of champions.
Yeah.
If they got to pick the one guardian or whatever, who do you think? Do you have someone in mind who you think it's going to be?
I don't know that it's them that pick it. I think it's
Like fate picks it or some
it's
magical
a reaction.
thing.
Like
who do you think it's going to be?
Jean.
Okay.
Go
Yes.
with the underestimated guy. Yeah.
Go with you have absolutely no reason being here. Like realistic reason. Sure, he's a great tactician, but like he showed up to battle college and was like, "Hold on, I'm aura shy. Don't look at me. I'm trying to make it's
That's
okay."
one way to phrase it.
All right. That's one way they can go with it, if that is indeed what
Because
what they're doing.
Wasn't he helped? Like he didn't just like fake his papers to get in. It's like
No, he got his hands on
He
fake paperwork.
forged his. He either forged them or bought forged.
He got forged.
Or
He said he got
acquired
forged.
forged.
He acquired forged. He said he says it that way.
Yeah. His papers were forged to make him seem more competent than he was.
Yeah. Now, I mean, the real question I think you got to ask yourself though is, like he got in on the forged papers, but given everything we know about Ospen, does or does not Ospen know that he
he
did that?
knows, dude. This is like
Ospen is the kind of guy who seems like he'd be on top of this.
he
but-
makes it a
Osmond
point.
already knows about Blake. He knows about Ruby. He knows about Weiss. He knows. He knows all the dirty little secrets.
Well, I
in the
mean, of course he knows,
doors.
but he picked Ruby. I mean, he handpicked Ruby. But
yes, but
so but
Osmond knows.
yeah. All right, let's go ahead and, like I said, we got another World of Remnant. This one's on Huntsman.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
Huntsmen and huntresses, the best and brightest warriors of Remnant, ranking higher than Kingdom Police and even military in terms of strength and skill. The occupation was established alongside the Huntsman Academies after the Great War, with the hope of creating elite warriors whose sole purpose would be to combat the creatures of Grimm. Beacon Academy was founded in Vale, Haven founded in Mistral, Shade founded in Vacuo, and Atlas founded in the now-defunct Kingdom of Mantle. These institutions accepted graduates of primary combat schools who showed enough promise and tenacity to not only battle the world's deadliest creatures, but also protect their fellow man. For this reason,
like that
trainees
one.
are grouped into
That's good.
teams, ensuring the continual development of communication, empathy, and teamwork. Traits that are vital to any guardian of peace. As an additional precaution to maintaining peace, the founders of the academies believe that their graduates should be kept separate from kingdom allegiance. Once finished with their training, huntsmen and huntresses are free to choose who they work for, as well as what kind of work they will do through the use of mission boards.
Very RPG.
Allying with a particular kingdom or village is entirely up to the individual. However, Atlas Academy has come under increasing amounts of scrutiny for the indoctrination of military lifestyle upon its students, pressuring them to enlist in the Atlas military's Special Operatives Unit.
That's an outline we now know.
Every academy has its own methods of teaching, but the end result is the same. Huntsmen and huntresses ready to make their own paths. Some will stay together as a team, some will move on to work alone. But all are expected to serve humanity
That iconic image.
and never succumb to the darkness.
It was a little more theatrical than I was expecting, but very informative.
Lots of good info about the hunters and huntresses.
Yeah, it's also nothing that I really didn't already know.
Yeah, there's a
It gave
few
you the
little
name of the
bits.
schools as to which kingdoms they were in, and a really odd phrasing when it came to Atlas.
Yeah.
The now defunct Kingdom of Mantle. It's an odd phrasing.
So apparently there was a Kingdom of Mantle, but now there's a
that
Kingdom of
isn't
Atlas.
anymore.
So clearly something happened there in the past 80 years or so that
Change that.
there was a
name of
change
the
in
country.
political
Atlas
status.
is also where the military comes from. Myanmar, anyone? That's why I backed off.
Anyways, all right, now on to episode 4 here.
Let's do it. I do really appreciate the fact that they add in concept art and fan art. It's an
Oh,
I think it's a
especially
nice
in the
mix-up.
closing credits, which we never end up watching, but there's a lot of awesome fan art in
yeah.
the first
Maybe
few
that's-
seasons.
Though by now they're doing the concept art.
Yeah, at this point they're doing concept art and character work and things like
Yeah,
that.
and that's what it is.
We were playing.
from now on.
We were playing the credits in season 1 and 2, right?
Not really,
There wasn't
no.
really anything.
You
wasn't a lot there.
guys, you guys kept quitting them as soon as the episode ended, so that you
Yeah.
guys could talk.
Yeah.
It's not a huge gap because you end up getting all those songs on the soundtrack, but there were a couple of times I had to bite my tongue because you cut off some really good songs that I was looking forward to hearing.
pretty much for the most part, except for the season finales going on after this, the music is entirely instrumental. You don't get songs at the end of episodes.
But
anymore.
season 2 was where I had to keep biting my tongue. There were some good songs at the end of those. But we'll get to that when we sit down with you and do the album.
Emerald and Mercury of
Hey, back to the festival.
versus Coco and Yatsuhashi of Beacon.
Ah, we're down to the 2-on-2s. Team Coffee versus Team Evil. I don't know what their actual team name is. I just
That's a discussion we can get into at a later time. But
Hey. Love the outfit, kid.
I'll try not to get blood on it.
Nice.
I can't promise you'll leave without a scratch.
I won't
That's
be
like-
the one bleeding.
Oh, I
Final
don't
Fantasy
like her.
X style sword, like Titus's sword.
1, begin!
Love it. Like tigers, they disappear into the grass.
I love that Coco has a fan club. All the glasses and the
Of course
berets.
she does. She's fucking Coco.
Just cutting the grass for railgun.
Machine gun, not railgun. Railguns are
Oh,
magnetically
minigun,
accelerated.
not machine gun,
Yeah,
but whatever.
sorry, minigun, not railgun though. Railguns are different.
He's good. Yeah, but where's the go?
he plays hacky sack.
He definitely appears to be leg-oriented. Taekwondo, they're all kicks.
I knew she would end up being in Forest. Called that one from the very beginning. Well, except for she was in water.
That's water.
What's all that?
The crystals are
might
dust.
be dust.
The crystals are dust, but the liquid on the ground is water. It's a geyser field. Yeah. Case in point.
I take it back. I don't like her. Damn.
Coco.
Watch out. She's in the trees.
And with that final blow, Yatsuhashi is eliminated.
What?
Oh.
Damn.
And with an amazing upset, Emerald and Mercury are victorious.
That was really fucking intense.
Yep.
Listen to that crowd boo.
Well, there's some people clapping.
Oh, definitely. There was a team victory for Team Haven.
You're leaving?
Yes. I was merely needed to oversee the transport of additional units to Vale. Our last shipment was lost to an ambush. I believe you had a run-in with its cargo, actually. It's fortunate those paladins were still in the prototype stage. Otherwise, your team may not have fared so well.
Giant robot
Nice.
fight.
Yep.
You've done
Yeah.
well out here on your own. You should be proud. I'll be honest, it was quite amusing seeing Father's face the day you left for Beacon.
I can't wait to show him what I've learned.
Oh? And what do you think you've learned?
What do you mean? I'm getting better and better with my glyphs. I've even started time dilation.
And what of your summoning?
You know I can't.
Don't be ridiculous. Every Schnee has the ability to summon. We have for generations.
I've tried. It's the one thing I'm having trouble with.
We Schnees are unique. Unlike many, our semblance is hereditary. But that doesn't mean that it will come easily. Your semblance is like a muscle. The more you practice with it, the stronger it will become. But if you only focus on one aspect of it, if you fail to test the limits of what you think is possible, then you'll never truly grow.
You're nothing but talk, kid.
You can do it, Ruby!
Soaring Ninja wins. Total annihilation.
Ouch.
And by the way, don't ever call me old.
My turn.
New challenger approaching.
Where was I?
You were telling us about your last mission.
Right. I'd come across a small village in the swamps west of Mistral. Right off the bat, I knew something wasn't right.
I love the storytelling artwork.
Yeah.
I needed information.
Whenever they use the
Tired.
story.
Yeah, the
Tired
2D
of
animation
along the way.
is really nice.
I decided to start my search at the town's inn. The place was crawling with lowlifes and thugs, even a few huntsmen that I could only assume had been hired by less than reputable people for less than respectable jobs. And that's when it happened.
What happened?
I met a girl.
I was defeated by the mere sight of the innkeeper's skirt length.
Soaring Ninja wins. Total annihilation.
You are the worst.
Best 2 out of 3.
So, Uncle Crow, did you get in trouble with Ozpin?
Nah, me and Oz go way back. We're cool.
Cool for an old guy.
Not funny.
Hey, so what are you doing here anyway? I thought Dad said you'd be away on a mission for, like, ever.
Ready. Fight!
Well, a professional huntsman like myself is expected to get results as soon as possible.
Yeah, I get that. We're pretty much pros, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, read the news sometime. We totally saved Vale while you were gone.
Funny, because I heard Vale suffered a grim attack after you almost managed to stop a train.
Soaring Ninja wins. Total annihilation.
But they don't give out medals for almost.
They do, and they're called silver.
She's not wrong.
Ship and crashed it down ever since. That's basically a bounty mission.
Sure, you may be acting like huntresses, but you're not thinking like one. You really think 4 girls and their friends could end all crime in the kingdom?
I mean, I did until you said that.
Violence hasn't dropped since Roman got nabbed. It's stopped. Completely. No White Fang activity anywhere around the city. You cut off the head of a King Taijitu, but now the second head's
The
calling
two-headed
the shots.
snake things.
That's what Ironwood can't get through that thick metal head of his.
You know the general?
Hey, I know everybody to some extent. Remember, you're talking to a member of the coolest team to ever graduate Beacon.
Okay, so
Team Stark.
okay, we already saw her face.
We'll go back to that picture afterwards in the wrap
Well
up.
known back in the day.
Well known
That's
for
the chick
crummy
with the
fashion
mask,
sense.
and then I
Hey,
think
we looked good.
the hooded one
And I have a
is
number of inappropriate stories that'll back that
the
up.
ice cream chick.
But I'll save those for when you're older.
Ugh, gross.
Anyway,
We'll get back to
I'm
that
too
in the
old to
wrap
be
up.
hanging out with a bunch of kids. You're gonna cramp my style. Look, just remember that you've still got a long way to go. And don't think for a second that graduating means
Oh,
you're
yeah.
done.
Well,
Every day out there is worth a week in this
Okay.
place.
Where to go back to.
You two, you're gonna go far. But
got it.
only if you keep learning. If you never stop moving forward.
Hey, look, a caterpillar.
Excellent form. Now think to your fallen foes, the ones that forced you to push yourself past who you were and become who you are now. Think of them and watch as they come to your side.
I can.
Stop doubting yourself.
I'm trying.
If this is what you call trying, then you have no hope of winning the tournament, let alone succeeding as a huntress. Why don't you just move back home? I'm sure Father will give you a nice job as a receptionist.
I don't need his charity.
Ouch.
Yep.
But you do need his money, don't you?
What? How did you know about that?
Lucky guess. I may have been in a similar situation when I joined the military. So what have you done this time?
Well, that's the thing. I'm really not sure. I went to pay for lunch the other day, but my card didn't work.
How embarrassing.
I know! Well, it was. Why would he cut me off like that?
Perhaps so you'd stop avoiding him and call home. Emotions can grant you strength, but you must never let them overpower you. It sounds to me like you have 2 choices in front of you. You can either call him, beg for his money back, and explain once more why you want to study at Beacon over Atlas. Or you could continue to explore Remnant, discovering more about the world and, honestly, more about yourself.
Winter's a good older sister.
Time for me to go.
It was really good to see you, Winter.
Until next time, sister.
I'll say
Even if
she's
she doesn't always know how to express it.
she's a loving older sister. I'll
Yeah.
give her that. And we'll go so far as to say good.
Sometimes love is all you need in a situation like that.
Ah, she made a little sword.
And there goes our audio. And that.
But it was a bigger sword than... Don't answer it. Don't be a big girl. Atta girl. At least she didn't do something dumb.
Time
like
to make
throw
a
it.
decision. Yep.
I'm glad that little sword wasn't in the caterpillar.
Yeah, no dead caterpillars in this episode.
All right.
Although that is some heavy-handed metaphor right there. The caterpillar on the sill as she's working with her sister to improve her abilities.
Oh, yeah.
It's almost like two not quite lovers arguing in an ice cave with a Wookiee nearby.
Anyways. All right. So going back to the start of this one, we start with the fight.
Correct.
We had the Emerald Mercury, Coco, and Yatsuhashi fight.
Yeah, that seemed more like just an unfair slaughter than anything else. It was.
They got their butts kicked, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's an
with as
understatement.
badass as Coco and
Yatsuhashi
have been in the past fighting Grimm, they went down surprisingly quick. Although, I mean,
that just shows how strong Emerald and Mercury are, because we haven't actually seen that yet.
Yeah.
Right.
The only time we got...
you get Mercury actually fighting, and although he may limit himself to kicks, he's pretty fucking badass.
Yep. They are both formidable fighters.
And then something weird happens in the woods.
Yep. Coco loses track of Emerald for a minute.
Right.
And then...
Yeah, she can mimic people. Copy people who she's beaten
Yeah, because
up.
then...
Or I think that's... I actually think that's Mercury.
Well, because she sees Yatsuhashi behind... She sees
You think that was
Yatsuhashi...
Mercury in the woods after he defeated Yatsuhashi? Sneaking up on her?
Because she sees Yatsuhashi in the back.
Yep.
She starts to talk to him. Turns around, sees the thing on the monitor where just as she's seeing that, Yatsuhashi was just being taken out of the fight by Mercury.
Right.
So Mercury would have had to have been in two places at once in order to for that to have been him.
I mean, there are
Physically
copy
been him.
semblances.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. No idea.
Something clearly happened though. Obviously,
One of the two of them can duplicate themselves, or that dude's semblance was he could astral project or something.
Yeah, because then Coco is literally shaking after she realizes that's not actually Yatsuhashi. She literally starts shaking.
Yeah, so it's probably not Yatsuhashi astral projecting, because Coco is completely thrown off by this.
No. So that happens. They get the defeat, and then we move on to to the Weiss and Winter and Crow and Ruby and Yang scenes.
Mm-hmm.
So we start with Weiss and Winter, and we
actually get a lot of really good information on semblances through this discussion.
Yeah, because we get confirmation. I had you fishing for it a little bit on the last video, which in retrospect we were going to get in the next video. I don't know why. I thought maybe you might have had some sort of insight or something, but you
as
were
far
kinda,
as
the whole thing with their semblances.
The familial glyphs.
The familial glyphs.
Yeah, I didn't know enough about it.
I thought it was.
They really spell it out this episode.
They have the
fact
same semblance.
that this is a unique semblance that's passed down through blood.
Yeah, some people, it's very, very rare, but in some instances, semblances can be hereditary.
Yeah. She does birds and animals, but Weiss did an object. So it'll be interesting to see if she does.
How much do you remember of Weiss's trailer?
I wasn't going to go right to that, but I was simply going to say, what is it when they're summoning, which is what they call it, what does Winter tell her? How would it do it when she's kind of coaching her?
Think of all your fallen foes.
And then summon them to your side.
Yeah.
So Weiss is thinking of a fallen foe when she summons that little tiny sword.
It's going to be the giant knight.
The giant knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. But yeah, so we learned that semblances can't be hereditary. The Shnees all have this one. There's this thing called summoning that they can do. They can summon enemies that they have defeated. Mm-hmm. Or more specifically, enemies that they've defeated in a moment that has some sort of significance for them.
they can manifest some form of...
Some sort of an emotional high that
Yeah,
allows them to
not
tap
just
in.
when you're out just killing random mooks, but a fight that has some
Boss
sort of
fight.
emotional.
Yeah.
Weiss
Yeah.
is all card captor Sakura here, and yeah, she defeats it. She can capture it. She can maybe. I mean, according to
But-
Winter, at least.
Well, not capture, but she can mimic it.
Yeah, right.
Summon a.
At least
version of
according to Winter, Weiss apparently has not developed this ability yet and is having
she can.
trouble.
She's
She's
having trouble
very
with it.
frustrated.
That does give out an interesting bit of history to her older sister. That means that at one point, Winter was attacked by a flock of birds, and it was
Yeah,
traumatic.
by a flock of Nevermores.
Think of
yeah.
what. Yeah, I was going to say, think back to the previous episodes in the city, and you saw the flock of
With
miniature
Winter, yeah.
Nevermores.
And then obviously she had some sort of meaningful fight with a Beowulf.
But that Beowulf looked big and
it was mean.
It was
extra.
it was a big Beowulf, yeah.
Yeah, like so.
Maybe an old
and
one.
and it was a.
They do
It
get
wasn't
bigger
quite-
the older they are.
Yeah, it wasn't an alpha. It wasn't quite a full-fledged alpha.
But it was a.
Yeah, it didn't
But-
have all the spikes on it.
Yeah,
for that. But it was definitely a big Beowulf.
Big Beowulf.
It was a Beowulf, yeah. So we get that, and then we kind of get just kind of going into the other part of the scene too, the finishing of it. We get where she's kind of talking about the whole situation with her dad and the money and the credit card, and we kind of find out Winter.
And Weiss's or Winter's advice.
Yeah, and Winter went through something similar when she joined
The
Went
military.
went to Atlas, and then joined the military. So clearly, Daddy wasn't happy about either of them pursuing this line of work.
Right.
And she really lays out the binary choice, which is tropey as hell, but that binary choice is important for heroin.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. It's either do you keep crawling back to Dad for his money and his approval and all that, or do you just tell him
venture out on your own?
and do what you want to do, live
And
life
for a
on your own.
17-year-old girl going through all of the rest that she's going through, I mean, 17-year-old kid, gender really doesn't matter. But, yeah, it is a hell of a question there.
Yeah. And then we get, and of course she hangs up on her dad again. I don't think.
Yeah,
I never
we've
really
heard
doubted that
Weiss's
she would.
we've heard
Yeah.
I
Weiss's
don't think they go
opinions
in
of
that-
her
She's-
family
she's-
before.
She's got that I'm not going to be my father moment
Yeah.
in previous
Yeah.
episodes. So it's been
With Oobleck when they're discussing the deeper questions.
yeah, she's going to be it's been leading up to this moment. I think in the next couple of episodes she's really going to I think at least by the end of this season Weiss will have come into her own.
All right.
All right. So then we get the Crow Ruby Yang part, and we
Which
get
is
some funny
great, where
moments.
they're just playing video games.
Yeah, they're playing video
I
games.
love they're just playing a
Close.
fighter, like a Mortal Kombat style, or
Or hunters.
Yeah,
like ninjas with swords or whatever.
yeah, it's their own
It's a ninja
variation
game.
of it, but
Some sort of-
it's a fighting game, and it's great.
Yeah, and we get
Because Crow's apparently awesome at it.
Yeah. We get a Crow story. Which
Yep.
ends in him,
And I like
40
how
more
when
women,
he shows
but-
the picture, he specifically covers up the red one's face. Because we see her face in the intro in that
We're
photo.
gonna-
that he'll-
yes and no. I mean,
yes and no. He
at this
act-
point,
he-
well, we
like he
whether or
hol-
not-
the
He
way
does pull
the
out
way
a
he holds it.
photograph.
There's
Do
one
you wanna
finger over.
back
the
Oh, I
up
know.
to
I know
there?
the finger goes over the face. I'm saying it's debatable whether or not he's deliberately doing that
Or
to
whether it's
block her from
accidental,
seeing it.
just the way
Considering,
He is drunk. He's Crow. He's
know-
always drunk.
like, Yang
At
knows
least
who's in
according
that
to
photo,
Glenda.
right? That's the 4 people that were on his team together. He knows who those people are. She knows who those people are.
So
he would have
does
no
Ruby.
reason.
They both know
Yeah,
who they
he would
are.
have no reason to cover up her face. I think that is simply a animation thing for the audience. He's moving his thumb in that direction to
So
draw
the
your attention to
audience
the
doesn't
image.
get.
That is how I do it.
That
But,
being said, do you want to back up to that image?
yeah, because we do have the 4 people, and because we did hear who's all on this team before. We have been told that.
Right.
And I think this is the first time you get a good image of a couple of them. So,
Oh, sorry.
nope, before that.
Yeah, almost. It's close.
Here we go. Run. Shit.
Right about here we go.
Yeah.
If you hit the space
right
bar.
before that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's right before that.
As soon as if you hit that space bar, you
Or
can
I
hit.
can just keep hitting the mouse. That
Oh,
works
I didn't
too.
realize that it was working if you clicked on the screen. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. We've already had these arguments,
Mm-hmm.
mostly during season 1, but there.
All right, there we go.
And no, his thumb isn't covering anyone.
Well, he moves his thumb over her face later on.
Even still, yeah.
It
So
moves
tho-
later in the.
He's
Is-
talking about his old team, and that's a
Is
picture of his
Jean-
old team.
Is Jean, Ruby, and
Jean
Yang's
is the
brother?
same age as Yang and Weiss and Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that blonde guy looks a lot like Yang.
Well, that
or looks a lot like
You've seen
Yang
him before in
and-
the background of
We know-
of the first episode, I
we
believe.
do not. There, if you remember the conversation Yang has with Blake in volume 2, there is no question as to who these 4 people are. We
Okay.
know the names of all 4 of these individuals.
Oh, got you. Okay.
It's Crow, Yang, and Ruby's mothers both, and their father.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
their
who
dad.
that is who the members
You
of
see
Team
him
Stark
briefly
are.
in the background of the first episode of this season when Ruby's in front of the gravestone, and
Yeah.
you see Zwei and a blonde male adult figure behind
who's her father. Yeah.
That's him.
Got it.
This
That
is
is
just a
equivalent.
clearer visual of him.
And that means obviously that the other individual is
The 2 women are obviously their
the
2 mothers.
two mothers
And Crow.
and Crow. We
Crow's a voyeur.
all right. Though I will say, we have seen the woman in white before,
Multiple times.
quite a few times. I would
Well,
say,
if you count intros, yes.
yeah, we have seen it
We saw her for an entire season.
in the intro,
Right.
right over the grave,
Grave marker.
right? So that
This
would
is finally
presumably
confirmation of.
presumably that is then Summer Rose,
Okay.
which would
That
be
is the
Ruby's
woman
mom,
whose grave marker that is.
which
Right.
means by process of elimination, the other woman who looks just like Yang has to be
Yang.
Yang's mother.
Yeah.
Shocker. All right.
Which, as
But
you
we get
already
confirmation
commented, the face matches that of the woman in the mask.
Right.
there. Yeah. Al,
Also, the sword.
Yeah.
I mean, check out that fucking sword.
And the armor. And the hair.
Yeah.
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 though I will say, I always find it weird because this is supposed to be them, like, presumably at the very latest, like, right after they graduated high school. And
It's just a group
they,
shot.
they look like adults. They all look like adults. They didn't really do a good job aging them down for this. But,
Well, what are you going to do? Remove the wrinkles?
well, I mean, they could be a little bit short. I mean, just like they would if they were going to create actual character models of younger characters. They created a little cute Blake. They could create
They
younger them.
wanted to ensure that there was no question about who these 4 characters were.
Yeah.
It's a production choice, and personally, I agree with it. I understand why you don't.
Oh, I'm not
But
saying I
it's
disagree
production
with it. I'm
choice.
just pointing out that it's a weird thing. I don't think it. Well, quite frankly, I don't necessarily agree that it is definitely a production choice. But, anyways, yeah. So we finally got the 4 of them. We've seen the 4 of them.
Yep. Confirmation on character.
Confirmation. Though Yang definitely did look when she looked at it. She kind of definitely had a look of like, huh.
There was a moment of double take there.
There was a little moment of double take, or of, perhaps of recognition.
Right.
Let's see.
I like the coffee stain on it.
Yeah, it's been around.
Stain, yep.
It shows that he takes this everywhere with him, and it's close to Crow's heart,
Yeah.
Or his liquor
or at least
cabinet.
his past.
And then we do get one little piece of, well, we get 2 other little pieces of information here. He gives him a little bit of additional advice, just the general.
Well, let's be honest, this is Crow. That's
Practical.
probably a whiskey glass stain, not
Yeah.
a coffee stain.
Yeah, but he gives him some advice. It's just general good advice. Real world experience is worth a lot more than in class instruction. At the end of the day,
And that, they've
just 'cause you
and
graduate doesn't mean you stop learning.
yeah, and I think the first time they experienced that was when they were out on their first assignment, well, previous to the train. Them just going out and experiencing what it's like to just go on patrol and exterminate.
Yeah. And then we had them talking about the White Fang a little bit.
How there's been no activity.
Well, crime in general. The fact that since Torchwick was arrested, there's been no crime. Everyone's laying low.
Not a reduction. Stoppage. Total stoppage. Which Kroll implies it means Torchwick was running things before. That means there's still somebody running things because somebody had to give the order for everybody to go quiet.
Right.
That would never happen in a vacuum.
It insinuates that all of the crime in the city was actually organized rather than chaotic and separate.
It was just well thought out.
If all crime stopped, that means we're dealing with an organized crime network. And hey, look, Torchwick's in chains.
Yeah. All right.
Well, more like in a little cubby, but...
I think that's it for this one.
Yeah.
Unless you had anything else?
No, I'm all set for the next.
No. All right, then. Well, that'll be it for today. If you guys like what we're doing here, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, bell for notifications.
Every time.
Mm-hmm. You can find us on Twitter at InfoConfused, and you can find our podcast here on YouTube or on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Stitcher. We are Informed and Confused. I'm Alan.
And I'm Bobby.
See you later.